Hello and welcome to the OTD Podcast with your host, Jeff Friedman. And OTD stands for Off the Derech, really means off the path. In this episode, we have Henry, and Henry is a 19-year-old young male from Flatbush, Brooklyn. And Henry and I connected on the subreddit called exjew. And listen in to hear Henry's story. In today's episode, we have Henry hailing from Flatbush, Brooklyn. He and I connected through the exjew subreddit on Reddit, and we talk about his experience, kind of deviating from the modern orthodox yeshiva ways that he was. So let me just, if you tell me, how did you come across the exjew and Reddit, and tell me and different ways people.
So it started off basically when I was in yeshiva. I used to be very religious, and I started noticing that something was off with the whole religion thing when the rabbi started talking about slavery. It's always been talked about, but like now, as I was like 16 years old, I started really like wrapping around my head and started really looking at it from an objective standpoint, and I saw that it was just an immoral thing, and it didn't make sense to me that something like that can be considered good by an all good being, And from there, it stemmed, and I started looking at various, reputable websites. Like I started watching like Atheist Experience and things like this, like a lot of websites and a lot of podcasts and things like that.
Right.
And that really got me going.
And what type of yeshiva did you go to?
It was like a modern orthodox, not like a Hasidic thing. It was just like a modern.
Okay, but where's your family from?
Israel, and pretty much just Israel. They originally came from like Egypt and things like this. Sephardic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I guess I've being a therapist and just sort of like I don't know. I mean, I feel like everybody does it. You're not even being a therapist. You're just talking to somebody from a limited amount of time. But you strike me just from listening to your voice. You sound like a pretty level-headed, calm guy. There's a lot of the guys that I've met that that have been through the yeshiva thing. They just seem very anxious and real nutty. But just from talking to you briefly, you sound like you're pretty calm and
That's good. Yeah.
But.
I think you really get that from people who went to like Hasidic or like really ultra orthodox yeshivas.
Yeah, that for sure. Yeah, exactly. But So, and what about? Are a lot of your friends still more into the?
No, they're all pretty much all religious. Like
they are.
I did have one friend that was like me, but that we kind of grew apart.
Okay. Yeah. And how long have you has that thread on Reddit been active for? The
subreddit?
Yeah.
It's been out for like I think maybe 5 years. I think it's even longer than that, but I was there since like 2017.
Okay.
So a little bit.
What how are your interactions been on that?
It's pretty good. It's a really good community.
Yeah.
I originally got on there because I was debating. I was doing like this thing where I was debating a lot of big rabbis. I debated with I don't know if you heard of him, but this big rabbi named Rabbi Mizrahi, and you can actually see.
No, I haven't heard of him, but I mean I know the name. I think of the guy, the fashion designer Isaac Mizrahi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So I debated with him. I don't know if you can hear the ambulance outside. It's insane. It's in New York. Yeah, it's crazy. So I debated with him. I even have the post on Reddit. It's really interesting. I was debating with many other rabbis. Like that's what really got me onto that subreddit.
Okay.
To just post things like that and ask questions about religion.
One of the things, I found out, there's somebody guy had a post in there that struck me, and it mirrors my friend's experience with the rabbis and the yeshiva, is that you ask, and it's also been some of my experience when I've interacted with those types of rabbis, that you ask them a question, like questioning something about Judaism or God, and they give you those kind of roundabout answers, and they're not, it's very roundabout, it's never direct. Have you found that to be your experience with them?
All the time. Yeah, definitely. They never really they never really give you a straight answer about anything.
Right.
It's very convoluted. It's never. I mean, because that's really what keeps you in the religion. It's kind of like a cult.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about so you're 19? You said.
Yeah.
So what are you?
Almost like 20 next week.
Are you going to? Okay, cool. So you're going to college. What are you doing with yourself now?
Right now, I recently actually just dropped out of college. I was majoring in computer science.
So what was your reason for dropping out, or just wasn't really?
I found better ways to do what I want to do. Like I want to be a software engineer, and you don't really need a college to. Yeah, so I found that to be a waste of money, waste of time. I found a quicker way to do it. I'll just learn by myself and make projects and things like this.
Right. And when did you get into software engineering?
Last year.
Oh, okay, recently. Okay.
Yeah.
I know like people like my cousin that he's it's people that start out when they're like they're 5 years old. They've been doing it.
Oh yeah. But, I wish I started out that young.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, I now it's like become cool as people make so much money with it. But when I grew up, I mean, I never felt it was just like nerdy, and I mean now it's still nerdy, but it's like nerdy cool. But then it was, and it was harder to see the cool things you can do with it. Back then, it was just I wish I paid more attention to it too when I was a kid. But
yeah.
But actually, so you said you play music, guitar, right?
Yeah, I play guitar.
What types of stuff do you play?
Rock, usually metal.
Oh, okay.
Things like that. Yeah.
But I mean, I found one thing I want to bring up related to that is that, like, I mean, obviously the Orthodox Judaism is very a lot of rules and it's restrictive. But I find there's kind of an interesting paradox with having so many rules that I feel like it can create creativity in a way to try to break the rules or find ways to bend the rules. Have you found that apply to you or your experience at all?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of things that rabbis do to bend the rules or to make loopholes. What they do is they make I forgot what it's actually called. They put a string around a city on Sabbath.
The Eruv, right?
Yeah, Eruv, yeah. And to allow them to carry and things like this. Right. And they have ovens that turn on like after the Sabbath has started, and so they can they can have like a plata like cooking the food while it's like on the Sabbath, so like everything's warmed up. I don't know, they have a lot of loopholes going on.
Right, but have you found yourself growing up in that kind of environment? It's able to do any creativity?
Not really, no.
Okay. No, I've just found a lot of like even ones that are current, religious, or leave it. That I feel in a way it can make them sort of clever. I mean, it's just a hypothesis with business and different things, and find ways.
Not for me.
No. Well, you're still young. I mean, you guys have time, but have you watched any of those? Have you watched Unorthodox?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Heard it's good though.
No, it is good. But I mean, one of the things I found, I'll bring up this point. I mean, I didn't grow up in the community, but from one of my experiences that I noticed, which I thought was not accurate, which it's also interesting how that they have. I mean, it's the main character is a female rather than a male, but they show these guys going into like Satmar guys going to this brothel in Germany, and then they were very squeamish around the women there, the whores, and I found that from my experience with them would not be how it really play in real life, and so. I was just wondering about, I guess your experiences with the sexuality in the community and men and how that, any takes on that?
Well, first off, it's forbidden, like in the Torah, to masturbate and things like this. It's considered. It's actually, you consider to be put to death if you do such a thing. I always found that they make it. Even in the
modern community, that's still really.
Yeah. It's because it's embedded in the Bible. It's nothing to do with like. They make it as if like it's such an evil act. You do with like a non-Jewish woman, you deserve to be put to death. Adultery, things like this. It's usually just always the default answer is just to put someone to death if they do something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I found that very.
But I mean, in terms of, I guess, I mean, you go with prostitutes and that kind of stuff that you found in the community, those kinds of things.
Never. No.
Really? Wow.
Why is that shocking? Like people.
I mean, I don't know your particular one, but I've heard from the Hasidic ones. There's a lot of that going on, but that's what I mean. I don't, or especially the ones that leave, definitely. But I mean, I'm talking about the ones, But okay.
You're saying that they go with prostitutes?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
That could be because they're so like restricted over there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've heard more of the I guess peripherally the modern ones, like a lot of the guys that are married do a lot of stuff. Yeah, with porn, like excessive porn use and that kind of stuff. More. But actually,
I mean, you cram them in a room where like most modern yeshivas are like all boys.
Right.
It's co-ed. So you cram them in, and it's just like they have to, they have to find a way to like actually like see a woman, and they finally see one, they get all hyped up.
Right, sure. No, that makes sense. Where in Brooklyn do you live?
I live in Flatbush.
Okay. Have you? I don't know if you've ever come across this guy. He's Kingsborough Community College.
Right.
Yeah. This guy's a math professor there. His name's Ari Nagel. Have you ever heard of him by any chance?
Never.
But no, you should check him. He's he's an example of what I really would describe as the yeshiva kind of guy gone bad. That he's single now, but he's divorced, and he's this sort of rogue sperm donor. And there's a series on him that put on by the New York Post. There's a bunch of articles written about him on through there that he was married and has like 3 kids of his own, but then he's become this rogue sperm donor and he has 52 kids with different women. But I'm not sure what yeshiva he went to, but I think it was kind of modern that I'm not sure where it was, but...
Was there a reason why he became a sperm donor?
It's a good question. I don't... He just makes like he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart, but I think it's sort of a shtick to get publicity for him. But it's very bizarre.
Strange.
So you were saying that most of your friends are still in they haven't left?
Yeah, they're all still religious. Most of them, I would say. I had like a friend that was like me. We grew apart.
So how is that for you? Is that kind of isolating?
Yeah, because like there's no one like really around me that's kind of has the same ideas as me or anything like that. So.
What about any brothers or sisters that are?
No.
How many? How big is your family?
I got like 5 people in my family.
Including you?
Including the parents.
Okay, so you're okay. All right.
It's a relatively like small family.
All right. Well, I'm assuming you're celebrating Passover tonight?
Yeah, that's why it was a good time that you picked for 1 o'clock, because right after then it's hectic. They're preparing and the cooking and things like this.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. My mom is she does the Passover, makes the Passover every year, And she has this new boyfriend that he is very OCD about the whole coronavirus. And I mean, I haven't gotten tested for it. I feel fine now, but like a few weeks ago, I felt sick, and he's afraid for me to come over and due to the whole coronavirus. So I'm not really.
I mean, if it got better, if it got better, then it's most likely not. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, but he doesn't want me to come over, so whatever. I'm not going. So I'm yeah.
I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Well, you're in Brooklyn too, right?
No. I'm in Miami Beach.
Oh, okay. So it's not that bad there. I don't think so.
Well, relatively compared to New York, it's not. But there's over 300 cases reported here on the beach.
Yeah, I think there's about 200,000 here in New York.
Wow, that's insane.
I know, it's the most in the world, apparently.
One of the fears is that of all the New York people that come, but now, I mean, there was a bunch that did come, and there's usually a whole community from New York that comes during right around now to Miami for Passover, and there's.
Yeah, they should have canceled the the flights. They shouldn't allow people to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've made some steps to try to close it down, but so most of your family, you're saying, is more the Egyptian background?
Yeah, Egyptian, and my mom's side is like Syrian, and like there's even some Moroccan in there, but it's like Sephardic,
Yeah.
So.
But no, but there's a whole mainly Syrian community that comes here during Passover. That's what it's.
Oh yeah.
But you don't know anybody that does that, the whole Miami Passover thing?
No, never heard of this.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's big. I mean, they do these. I was thinking about this with somebody else. There's probably other places that do it, but I don't know of in this extent that they actually do these. They usually do it every year. That they have these kosher for Passover parties where they make the whole bar at the nightclub all kosher for Passover and charge twice as much for the alcohol. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds. Okay, now it's sounding familiar.
Yeah, but they do that in New York too during Passover.
Not that I heard of. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because I thought it was a little bit more of a Miami kind of it, because all the New Yorkers come to do it. But yeah. So any particular thing you're working on with the software engineering?
Not necessarily. I just make websites. I'm trying to be a web developer specifically.
Oh, okay, but not like applications or more.
No.
Okay.
I find that boring.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like to see like what I want to do. Like I like front end web development. I like to make websites. And,
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you know of anybody? Well, there's one guy that I know that's in the Miami area who's not Moroccan. He's the Egyptian background. His last name is Sultan, Jacques Sultan. Does that name ring a bell at all?
Not at all.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess there's probably it's a bigger community than I thought, but you never know. But yeah, but he has some family. I know he was originally from England, but then. I don't know how long he's been in Miami for, but he's, I think, born in the UK.
I think he was born in UK and his family came from Morocco.
No, he's actually Egyptian background. Yeah, Egyptian. I think there's some Moroccan too. I guess it's it's all kind of related, but yeah. But any of those other, there's actually those other documentary. I mean, there's another documentary I watched the other night that was pretty good, called One of Us. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I seen it when it came out. It was all over the exjew subreddit.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. What do you think of that one?
It was really good.
Yeah,
I really liked it. It was pretty accurate. I mean, like. The stories that they told, it represents like what it's actually like in the Orthodox community.
What do you think about and the one guy? I don't remember which guy, the one that said it. And I think actually it was the actor guy, loser. I'm not not loser, but Lazur, or the guy I'm talking, the actor.
I've seen it years ago, so I don't really remember.
Well, he was the actor. He was the anyway. But he made. I remember him saying this thing that he said that most of the people leave the community. They either return to the community, they end up in jail or rehab. And I was wondering what you think about that statement.
Wait, repeat it.
He said that most of the people in the community either they leave and they come back.
Right.
Or they go to rehab, or they go to jail.
That's probably only true for the ultra.
That's what I was just thinking that too. Yeah. I'm not sure he
definitely not modern. Yeah. Definitely not modern. No. Yeah. So I can't answer that because I never grew up in that area. But it's probably true. Yeah. I know a lot of Hasidics that do drugs.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty rampant in there.
But I remember actually he did he did a AMA on Reddit, and that was one of the things. He made a point that he says he didn't do any drugs, but he said that he overindulged in bacon and black women. It's one of the things he said. Anyway, so I guess, one of the things I was thinking about with podcasts is, it's just the nature of the thing that that everybody, the whole capitalist thing, people want to make money. So, would you say there's any particular, and this is kind of a random question, not really related to this, any particular items, things like gadgets or whatever that you're real into, that it's a random thing, or any products that you happen to like right now?
I don't know. If I had to say, gadgets or products, I'm not really into that kind of thing, honestly. I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, anyway, just more. What's the last three kind of memorable purchases you made?
I bought a new phone, Galaxy S8 Plus.
Okay.
It's actually an old phone, like chronologically speaking,
right.
But it's new for me because I just bought it. And I bought a PC.
What kind?
A really high-end PC. It's do you know any PC specs, or I'm just gonna throw numbers at you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's like a GTX, like 1060, like GPU, and then like 95-7400, like processor.
Okay.
It's like a medium end PC.
Okay, cool.
And the third purchase, I'm not sure. I guess a new guitar. Yeah, I guess I got a new guitar.
Okay. Any particular books you're reading, or books, music?
I don't read books.
What about music? What kind of music you listen to?
It's kind of weird, but I like Panic at the Disco. I don't know if you've heard about them.
Oh yeah, no, I liked them. I regretted it because I was annoyed. I'll tell you something about that. I had tickets to one of their concerts. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I've been in Miami about 11 years, and it was in Philly. And this girl that I was dating at the time, we went on some trip, and she didn't want to. I was annoyed in retrospect because I would have liked to have seen them, but. And they had this group that were opening for them that I really like. I don't know if you know them, the Block Party.
Oh, it sounds familiar. Yeah.
They're from the UK. They're not really. They were like an indie rock group. They were. I think this song was "Banquet." That was a hit song a while ago. But anyway, usually the opening band, even if they're a good band, they're not. Nobody really pays attention to them, but I regretted that I didn't get to see the show, and I had the tickets. I just let them go to waste. But, yeah.
Oh man, I would never let those go to waste. I love Panic. I love them.
Yeah, but they've been around for a while. Because I remember when, they're kind of
they've been around since 2005.
Yeah, they're probably getting close to 40, or maybe mid 30s. I don't know how old.
Actually, believe it. Yeah, he's like 34 now. The lead singer.
Okay, so not that old, not quite.
I mean, he started off when he was like 18.
Okay.
People don't know that.
To me here, Henry, and I appreciate it. Like I said, you sound like a pretty level-headed. I was, especially compared, it's a different world. Obviously, with the more Hasidic guys, but you sound pretty calm and level-headed.
All right, looking forward to hearing it.
And have a Hag Sameach, happy Passover.
You too.
All right. Take care. Thanks.